Ugh. Ugh. Hello, people. I don't know what to talk about. Hello, people. Oh. Hi. Hold on, I need to plug my phone in. There we go. Hello, it is. My internet was fucking up, so I had to... Oh my god. I had to start a new live. I also added a better description to this live. Because apparently getting like a long ass description gets you like more views or some shit. So, I got y'all a better description. You're welcome. Thank me later. Whatever. I don't currently have um yeah, I don't currently have chat cooldown or whatever on. But if we get too crazy, I will turn it on. Yeah, I don't currently have it on, but anyway, yeah, ask me anything. I love questions, and I'm bored. What's your theriotype? There's a fucking lot. I don't know. I mean, our main ones is opossum, black wolf, and cat. That's like the main. Oh, and a borzoi. Which, if you don't know what a borzoi is, the dog with the really long ass nose. And it's like kind of like a fancy, expensive breed. That's what a borzoi is. But yeah, those are the main ones. Because I don't feel like listing all of them. Pete, I want to get a Maine Coon. Eventually, when my cat passes away, I'm gonna get a Maine Coon. I'm not gonna jinx my cat dying, but I do want a Maine Coon. They're like really big and soft, and they have long hair. I don't know what the shedding looks like for Maine Coons. I'm gonna assume it's really bad. But whatever. Move. But yeah, I really want a Maine Coon. They're sick. I've never been into warrior cats, but they do give me like warrior cats vibes. Which apparently surprises a lot of people when I talk about being a furry or a therian. And I tell them that none of us have been into Warrior Cats or Rings of Fire or like Neopets. Like we've never been into any of that. Um, and people get surprised because they're like, "How did you become a Therian then?" I don't know. I felt it in my gut. I don't know what the answer would be to that. Me neither. I mean, the initial prompt of starting my live was talking about being a system with DID, especially because of like our story as a system is very complicated. Um, that was like the initial intention. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with whatever topic comes up, but I'd say I'm pretty good at stop that. At like deciphering broken English because I grew up around a lot of like not English speakers. Um, stop. Those are not yours. My cat's trying to eat my lemonades. Something that really pains me though is someone will be like, "Oh yeah, I don't speak English very well." And then someone else will be like, "Oh, I just have Google Translate." Google Translate is awful. It sucks because it doesn't understand a lot of grammar structures in other languages. So Google Translate, if you're translating from like whatever language into English, it tries to construct the grammar into English grammar, if that makes sense. But anyways, yeah, Google Translate sucks. Hi, people. Welcome to the party. I'm filing my nail polish off so I can paint it again in black. I want to learn more about DID. Could you explain it? So, DID stands for dissociative identity disorder. And it happens because a traumatic event happened, a severely traumatic event happens to you during the time when you're developing your identity and your sense of self. I think it's between the ages of like 5 and 10, like 5 or 9, something like that. Don't quote me. But basically, what happens is when you're younger, it's not one person splitting in half, basically. Instead, it's a bunch of different parts of your identity being. Bye. It's a bunch of different parts of your identity being squished together into one person, right? That's what happens to a normal person when they're trying to develop their personality, you know? It's a bunch of different parts. Let's say there are 3 parts, right? Those 3 parts eventually squish into one person, one personality. But something traumatic happens during your development, so instead of them squishing together, they stay separated. Um, but like people don't usually like doctors don't usually like to diagnose kids with DID or anything. I mean, it's possible. I'm not gonna say like, oh, your partner's faking because they're minor with DID. No, it's possible, but they don't like to do it because you're still developing your personality. That's why most of your alters come before you turn 25. Because when you're 25, your brain is fully developed and you're fully like your own person. Splitting into different things can still happen after you're fully developed. I'm not gonna say it can't, but yeah, that's what DID is. Um, and DID comes with trauma. You have to have trauma to have DID. Anyone tells you otherwise, don't even listen to them. Um, trauma, flashbacks, loss of memory from your trauma, um, memory gaps or like time skipping, um, dissociation, different personalities, obviously, um, and stuff like that. But DID is different for everyone. Everyone's system works differently. Everyone's symptoms of DID vary in severity and all that crap. Braid my hair and curl it. I'm not one of the mice from Cinderella. So, I don't know if I can do that. You're welcome. And like I said, every system functions differently. They all have their different preferences. They all um, like have different types of dissociation and when they switch and whatever the crap. Um, like for example, me as Ghost and all the other alters can talk to each other and communicate and whatever. But Crimzo, the host that everyone knows and loves, Crimzo doesn't know shit. Crimzo doesn't know any of us. Crimzo knows we exist. They just don't know like our names or who we are or anything. And we can't communicate with Crimzo whatsoever. Um, so when Crimzo's not in the front, Crimzo's kind of like in a dark void the whole time, like a quiet dark void. And they're kind of just stuck there, and none of us know why. So, the only way Crimzo knows our names, let alone our personalities, is because of a bunch of different system apps that we use to keep our shit together. And that's about it. Crimzo's never met us. We've never met them, really. Um, Crimzo doesn't really know how we work, even. So, yeah, a bunch of different systems work in a bunch of different ways. I'm not. No. I mean, we have a bunch of candy and shit, but we don't usually, like, actively dress scene core. We do occasionally, like, wear a scene core outfit once in a while, but I wouldn't say we, like, identify with the, like, scene core aesthetic. Hello, new people. I make We make singles, but that's about it. We don't do any like extravagant cuffs or anything. Um, we usually just make singles and that's it. Um, we've never let anyone else touch our hair in like 5 years, I think. No, there was one time in 5 years someone cut our hair and that was it. But, yeah, I use Splat usually, which I know is like a controversial thing to say. But if you mix Splat with a little bit of repairing conditioner, it won't damage your hair at all. And make sure you rinse out with ice cold water, and it won't bleed. And don't go to bed with wet hair. A bunch of fucking people are like, oh my god, my splat keeps getting on my pillow. That only happens if you rinsed out with hot fucking water or you're going to bed with wet hair. That's the only way that could possibly happen. Splat has a really bad reputation because people don't know how to use it. But I love Splat. They're really vibrant. They're really like long lasting, um, I really like splat. But yeah, I don't go anywhere. I don't trust other people with my hair. Most of us don't trust people with our hair. Only because we like the very like alternative haircuts, and I live in Texas. So you can imagine how that goes. Are you a Therian? I am. You know what a canvas Therian is? I don't. But I'm sure you're gonna tell me. I want to make a bat Therian mask eventually, but I need to get more materials if I want to do it. Oh, did y'all hear that? What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Ah, okay. I'm gonna be so honest with you, gang. We made a dino mask fursuit, and we took it to fucking TFF, which is Texas Furry Fiesta. If you don't know, it's like one of the biggest furry conventions in Texas. And it, I hot glued it, like, all together. Like, we hot glued that bitch. Okay? Hear me out. And it's very fucking durable because it was fabric hot glue, which you could get on Amazon. It's very durable. It's very flexible because it's not like regular hot glue. And it was featured on a like award-winning photographer's portfolio. A professional photographer took our picture while we were in fursuit, and it was in their portfolio because no one like noticed. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, that's that's like a really someone people kept saying, they're like, oh my god, that's a really high quality dino mask. I was like, thanks, I hot glued it together. I don't know what that means, my guy. Bye. Wait, what? Lizard? Did I miss something? Hello, people. Ow. I don't know very many lizards, dude. Is a bearded dragon a lizard? Or is it just a dragon? Usually pretty hippie. Um, like hippie and alternative, I guess. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm not personally hippie. I'm just saying like what we usually wear. You know. I like questions. I started this live with the intention of like getting like ask DID and system questions, but like any questions work. But this makeup is actually pissing me off, so I'm gonna go get some wipes to wipe it off. What's your name? My name is currently Ghost. I know, it's a very creative name. Yes, you should. I don't know who the fuck did this makeup, but I don't like it. Like, genuinely. I'm personally a dog person. I like the snow better. I fucking hate heat. What? Oh, thank you. No, because God called us to love our neighbors and not judge and not to discriminate. And He told us to love everyone as ourselves and do what Jesus would have wanted to do, and that is to stay friends with them. Keep your judgments and your shit to yourself, because you wanting to judge others is a you problem, and you shouldn't make that their problem by blocking them. Coming from another Christian. Yeah. I mean, I'd say that's pretty rude. I mean, you're good, bro. The Bible is very contradictory and it throws a lot of people off. Um, so a lot of people get confused about because in the Bible, homosexuality is technically a sin, right? But also on the other side of that, um, God does call onto us to love everyone and not judge. Um, but like in the Bible, when it says like such and such is a sin, like it's his job to say that it's a sin, right? And it's his job to like judge others on judgment day. It's not our job. So, judgments and all of that should be kept to ourselves. Name one element. Water. That's the first one that came to mind. But yeah, a lot of people get confused about that shit, and it's totally normal. And I'm just here to preach like a nerd, so. I think people who like pretend to be Therian, they're just uneducated on what a Therian is, and that there are things like being other-hearted and shit. Um, I mean, if they don't accept the information you're giving them, then yeah, like call them like a fucking bitch. I don't know. But like my first assumption when someone's like, "Oh, um, like I'm a Therian, I chose this or some shit," my first assumption is just that they're uneducated. But if you try to educate them and they're just being like ignorant and a bitch, then Yeah, I don't like those people. As Christians, we are called to love. No. That's not what we're supposed to do, gang. It is not our judge. It is what? It is not our responsibility to judge others. That is God's responsibility and Jesus' responsibility. And we're also not the ones to call out what a sin is. We're not the ones to do that. That's God's issue. And honestly, like personally, if someone isn't Christian and you like tell them, hey, this is a sin, as a Christian, then like I feel like that's a little self-centered. Because there are other religions out there and there are people that believe other shit, and you gotta respect that. Even if you feel like they're gonna go to hell or whatever the fuck, like that's not your responsibility. And that's not your place to tell them what they should and shouldn't be doing. I mean, if they aren't Christian, that's like their fault, right? And it's not like our job to be like, hey, you aren't Christian, fix it. Like, that's not on us. And like saying, like, hey, this is a sin because of my religion is, like I said, very self centered and kind of narcissistic. There are other beliefs out there. There are people that believe other things. And you gotta respect that as people. What time is it for you? It's 3:03. Which is 12, 13, 14, 15:03 in 24-hour clock. I find it so funny. No, it's 15:03 in 24-hour. Um, I find it so funny when Americans are like, "Hey, it's fucking like military time." Like they call the 24-hour clock military time. I don't know. I found that kind of funny to me, for like a very little reason. I don't know. Are you a Therian? I am. Why is this cheek so red? Like, cover that up. A Therian is someone that involuntarily identifies as something inhuman. Uh, on some level, some people identify as like a mental Therian, some people identify as like a spiritual Therian, like a past life type thing. Like there's a lot of different types of like Therians. Well, okay, so if you ask me, it's involuntary because of some sort of mental illness. That's what I think, okay? Um, I'm not gonna run out there and diagnose people, but I think it's something to do with like autism or some sort of psychotic disorder or bipolar or something like that. Some people will say otherwise, but that's just what I think. That's the theory that I have. Because I personally have never met a Therian that doesn't have some sort of like mental illness going on. And if they don't have a mental illness that's like diagnosed, then it's apparent that they have like autism or some shit. So I have what's called medically recognized DID, right? So basically, the actual process of getting being diagnosed with DID takes about a year. Um, and if you're in a situation where you need to have something on file that says, "Hey, I have DID," that like you need your files to say you have DID quicker than the assessment can be done, if that makes sense. Then you have what's called medically recognized. So basically, I about a year ago we went to see a psychiatrist for the first time, and the psychiatrist said that all of our DID symptoms came from schizophrenia and bipolar. And we do have schizophrenia and bipolar. But we got on meds for it. We finally found a medication that actually works for us because we tried like 10 different meds and none of them worked. But we found a medication that actually works for us. And we actually, like, our DID symptoms didn't change whatsoever. So I went back to my psychiatrist and my therapist and I said, "Hey, these meds are working. I haven't had like a hallucination or a delusion or anything like that, but I still have symptoms of DID." And so my psychiatrist said, "Okay, I think I know what this is, but talk to your therapist first." And my therapist said, "Oh, you have multiple personalities. You need to switch therapists because I can't give you a fulfilling therapy experience because I'm not specialized in DID." And then I went back to my psychiatrist and told her what my therapist said, and she said, "Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna say you're medically recognized until you can go see a specialist and get the assessment done." So that's what happened. Bye. But yeah, that's basically what happened. Um, and now we're here. I'm getting referred to a DID specialist soon. We just need to find someone that does telehealth, like over the phone. And then I'll start the actual assessment for having DID, which takes months because your specialist has to like survey you, and like monitor you and your different alters, and kind of just pick up on behavior and whatever. So, yeah. I'm not into Stray Kids, so I don't know what that means. I'm not really into K-pop. Are you emo? No, I'm not. What is a Therian? A Therian is someone that involuntarily identifies as someone that is something that isn't human. I'm currently Ghost. Okay, I mean, I know Stray Kids is like a K-pop group, but I don't know like anyone in it. I'm not gonna put on a Therian mask right now. Because it is too hot in my room right now to do that. You're welcome. Name a mammal. Possum. I mean, here's one of my masks right there. It's kind of like a clown dog type thing going on. And then I have all my other masks hung up right there. Thank you. A Therian is someone that involuntarily identifies as like a non-human animal. Stretch. Say hi, kitty. Why the fuck do you look like that, bro? Possum. That's my mammal. Who are we banning? Oh, I see now, yes. I actually just try to get as close to like my inner self as I can. Like my actual self. If that makes sense. And I'm a ghost. Literally, so. But if y'all want to see what I look like, I do have a picture. But we're from Texas, United States. Um, but yeah, if y'all want to see what any of us look like, I have pictures of all of us. How close are you to your inner self physically? Not at fucking all. Hold on, is my name Ava? No. I'm gonna show y'all what I look like so you can like hold on. I gotta find it. Go to read. So this is what I look like. I'm not at all like this. So that. Who's us? Um, no. I'm a system with dissociative identity disorder, previously known as multiple personality disorder. But yeah, that's what I look like, which is nothing like this. Excuses for fucking what? I've had 2 people now tell me DID is just an excuse, and I'm trying to find out what it's an excuse for. What am I excusing? Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to see like the number count up here because the white is like blending in the fucking numbers. But yeah, that's what I look like, which is nothing like this. Unfortunately. I could also show you a picture of me as a human because I can also do that. You're not even talking. I'm so confused. I'm not gonna mute you only because I'm trying to figure out what I'm like excusing with DID. Like, what? Right, this is a chat room. People are allowed to chat. There aren't very many rules in here. No. Go away. But yeah, this is what I look like. It's peak. But yeah, if you want to see what any of us look like, I'm free to share. Um, we have like 10 of us, I think. 9 or 10. But yeah, I don't fucking know what that guy meant. Um, my main ones, because there's a fucking lot of them, are cat, black wolf, and possum. And also borzoi, if you don't know what that is. I think my personal favorite is Misery Business by Paramore. Oh, you smell like goldfish. What? What is DID? DID stands for dissociative identity disorder, and it's where a severely traumatic event affects the development of your personality and preferences. Um, and it develops between the ages of 5 and like 8, I think. Like 5 or 9, something like that. But basically, when you're like young and you're trying to develop your personality and who you are and everything, something really traumatic blocks that. So when you're really young, you're kind of like different people almost. And for normal people, you would just squish into one person eventually after your development fully like develops. But if a traumatic event blocks that, you don't become one person because your brain can't comprehend the trauma that it went through, so it splits into a bunch of different personalities. So instead of squishing into one person, they stay separate, and eventually those separate people develop into their own people. If that makes sense. But yeah, it happens when a severely traumatic event blocks development. Hello. Um, the people, those different personalities are either called personalities or alters, and the collective of those personalities and alters are called a system. System of a down. We're talking about what DID is. My sister calls it did. Athena. Goodness gracious. Ow. That hurt. How many alters do you have? I have like 10. No, these are actually women heads. Jesus loves you too. Hello, people. Welcome to the party. I have no idea. I did not decorate my room, and I am not an interior designer. So, I don't know. I am not currently doing makeup. Did your did have oh, did your did, yes. Did your DID have effect in you becoming a Therian? No. My therianthropy came entirely from schizophrenia. As I'm sure everyone else's therianthropy did too. Or like everyone else in the system. But yeah. Our therianthropy came from schizophrenia. I don't think DID had any impact on it. Thank you. Okay. I'm back. Oh. No, I went to go check my TikTok. Are your lips rotten? Not actually, but that's the look I'm going for. But no, it's just eyeshadow. We have quite a few conditions. The main one being obviously DID, um, schizophrenia and bipolar, and Tourette syndrome. Those are like the main ones. Does my ears hurt? No. If you're trying to stretch your ears and they hurt, you're stretching your ears wrong. But no. We stretch our ears right for the most part, so they don't hurt. These are completely healed, and then we have two more piercings on top of that. There's one right there and one right there. And none of them really hurt. The top one is still a little sore because that's like our newest one. But yeah, my ears don't hurt. I can do random shit with it. You know. Hello, new person. Bro, I don't even know how fucking, like, some of the others keep their eyes, like, open, and I don't know how they do that. Like, that shit is tiring. Oh my god. That shit hurts. No. Because some of them are very, like, energetic and shit. Like, how are you. I don't even know. I don't know what a grommet is. I fear. I only have three. Four. I don't know. Only one fursona has been made into a fursuit, though. But, like, I don't know how many we have. Do you have Converse? I literally got rid of my Converse. Like, a minute ago when I was, like, going through my stuff. Um, my shirt is Isaiah 17:54. No weapon forged against me shall prosper. Which is my favorite Bible verse. Do you give your altars names? Some of them kind of came with their names and some of them didn't. Like Bubbles, we had to name her because she didn't come with one. I was named a very not creative name. Um, some of us came with names, some of us didn't, you know. So, I am, but not in like the dick way. Are you a follower of Jesus? I am. I got baptized. I got baptized like fucking 6 months ago, maybe? I don't know. It was recent. I got baptized recently. It was chill. That water was fucking cold, though. It was freezing in there. Oh my god. And they put me in a baptismal. If you aren't religious, a baptismal is just the clothes that you wear when getting baptized, right? No, that's not what a baptismal is. The baptismal is the tub. I don't remember what the outfit is called, but the baptismal is the tub that you're dunked into. Um, but like the robe that they gave me to wear for it was weighted at the bottom, and like my grandma took a massive video of it, like the whole process, and I like kept tripping because my baptismal was up a few stairs, so I kept tripping on every single one of those stairs. It was like a weighted blanket. It was like harsh. Um, Well, my family was like my immediate family, like my mom and my dad, were very on top of like making sure you understand why you're being baptized and making sure that you understand your relationship with God on your own before baptizing any of us. So my sister got baptized on her own a little while ago and she's 19 right now. I got baptized on my own after finding God again. Um, because we did lose God for like a fucking while. Um, we lost God a while. And it was mostly because of like hardship and everything. And it was also because of like, kind of just like associating the church with God. Because I had a very bad experience with the church. And then I grew up a little bit. I matured. I got better with my trauma. And some of our other alters traumas. So we got better at that, and then we were like, God is not related to the church and his people. God is God. All right. Bad people don't represent God and what he does. Um, no. Bad people don't represent God or what he does. Um, Jesus was an amazing fucking guy that preached about love and joy and harmony and unity. And all the people that act against that does not represent Jesus or God as a religion. And I kind of matured and realized that. So I connected with God and Jesus again, with the help of family. And I got better and kind of realized my relationship with God can be a relationship as an individual instead of your relationship with God coming from the church. It should come from you with the help of the church, if that makes sense. So I kind of just found my own path and decided to just do my own thing. Do you have a Bible? I have two. I'm gonna go get them. Hold on. I have two Bibles. This one, my most loved one. This is the one I've used the most. Got it at Half Price Books. That's where I got mine. Anyway, I got it at Half Price Books. It's my most loved and cherished. I put a cover on it myself because the original cover was like leather or like a fake leather, and it was peeling up really bad. And every time I touched this Bible, I hated touching it because it would get like all the pleather and all the like brownish dust that was on it kept getting everywhere. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna put my own cover on it. And I actually also replaced the bookmarks with green ribbon, so I have 3 bookmarks now instead of the 1 that was literally holding on by a thread. And then I have a little charm on it, and it's really cute. We all like the charms. So it's a dragonfly to match the cover. I have like these little opalish ones, and a cross, and then it's a little like mini Bible. That's cute. And then inside, I have all these different Bible tabs, and they're all in like different shades of brown. This is like my favorite quote that my grandma always says. A Bible that is falling apart belongs to a soul that isn't. I like that. And then, yeah, I like annotated the shit out of this book. Like, this is just 1 page, like, as an example. I kind of got off from reading it, but I, like, try to get back into the routine of reading it before bed. But yeah, I, like, annotated the shit out of this book. This is another page. And then I kind of stopped halfway through Genesis, because if you know Genesis, you know. We don't mess with it. Yeah, I also read Ruth. I like Ruth. That's probably my favorite book in the Bible. It's a short one, and it's a really nice one. But here's what I annotated in Ruth. And then hello. Here's another page as an example of all my annotations. This is probably my most annotated page right now. But yeah, I love our Bible. I really want to start the New Testament. This is the little doodle that I made around the New Testament label. But I really want to start the New Testament. That's where I'm going to start next. But yeah. And then this big boy. This is another one of our Bibles. It's an ESV. It's an ESV study Bible, and I'm really excited. This is like the artist notes about the cover, but I'm really excited to start using this because I feel like. So what I want to do is I want to use this one as like my annotation, like junkier looking one, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to transfer, once I'm done reading this Bible, I'll transfer all of my annotations and everything to this one. Because this one has those little, like, journaling margins and everything. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I bought this at Half Price Books for, like, $20. But also the great idea about having this one be, like, the junkier one is this one is a lot more travel sized in comparison to this one. So this one I can just keep in my purse or my bag or whatever, and then this one can just stay at home to transfer notes and crap. Because that's what my grandma does, and she suggested I do that too. But But yeah, I really like my Bibles. But yeah, those are my 2 Bibles. And they're great. Yeah, I want to read through the Bible before the end of the year too, but I'm kind of getting a late start. Because I got baptized in. I don't remember. It was like. January, February. I think it was March. Like, really early March. When I got baptized. So I'm kind of getting a late start on all that crap, but. Yeah, I also hope to finish my Bible by the end of this year. Hello, new people. Welcome to the club. I have a love-hate relationship with the Amazing Digital Circus currently. I mean, it's good. I rewatch it all the time. I just feel like it could have gone a little better if, like, the studio had a little more time and Gooseworks wasn't so self-centered. I mean, it had really good potential. I would have loved it if it was directed by Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls. I like Kinger. I do like Kinger. I like Kinger and Kane. Kane's complexity definitely should have been more fleshed out because there were a lot of like plot holes in the Amazing Digital Circus. Um, but yeah, like I said, the studio had a little more time and a little more effort put in, I feel like the series could have been great. Yeah, like I said, if there was more time, it definitely would have been better. CNA wasn't explained. What the blue orb wasn't explained that well. Um, and there were a lot of fucking plot holes. Like what exactly happened to the abstracted, and why didn't Kane just reverse the abstracted? And where are the abstracted exactly? Like we see it mentioned as the seller, but we never actually see it. Um and it was never explained what that exit door was that Pomni kept running through. Like why was it made? Um like what was it for? Why did Kane think to make it? Um And I also would have loved it if, like, the IRL versions of them were also more fleshed out and had a lot more screen time. I would have loved to see them, like, I don't know, like, I would have loved to see them, like, actually interact with each other and, like, they'll interact or meet or whatever, and then they'll all be like, oh my gosh, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, we all went through the same like game or whatever the fuck. Like that would have been great. Um Finding out like where the headsets came from exactly would have been great. Like there's just a lot of shit that wasn't explained or was explained horribly. Yeah, I really like Kaufmo. He wasn't really on screen enough for me to like justify his character, give my opinion about his character, but from what I saw, he was a good character, yeah. Hold on, what? Oh, bye! Did I miss something? Why are we talking about abuse? Oh. Oh, okay. Hi! No. Kitty! I don't know who any of those people are. I don't know what's on my mind. I just got here. I don't think I do. I think one of the others do, though. Yeah, I don't know anything about cars. Hi. No, YouTube has live. I don't know how you can get it, though. I have a cat. Cat. No. I mean, I like it, but I don't wear it. Her name is Athena. That's nice. I need to re-dye our hair. And I put a poll up on our system app to see if, like, what color people want. I think I put it up last night. Well, we do like solid colors, so it's like easier for people to agree on stuff. We usually just do black, but I put a lot of colors in the poll. Bye! They're blue light glasses, because I get migraines. Hi! Yeah, but I have medicine for it. We take Fursuit. Your eyes are pretty, thank you. Well, Fursuit is a controlled substance, so it's like heavily monitored by like the government and stuff. No, it's FRI CET, I think. Okay, bye. Yeah, I think that's how you. No, there's an O between the I and the C. Fee. Or. I don't know. I don't know how to spell it. Yeah. Yeah, that's because YouTube lives don't get as popular. Thank you. How old am I, or how old is the body? The body is 17. Yeah, the body is 17. No, we can't get them any bigger, otherwise this one will snap. So, stay here. Um, what's the question? How did you find out about each other? So basically, oh, hold on, let me change this thing. Okay, so basically, we were kind of just told. I mean, okay, so Crimzo is our host, right? And Crimzo, like, knew something was off. Cause there were like there were issues like memory loss and like kind of like jumping through time and shit. And there were like a lot of issues with that. But um and then Crimzo went to go see a therapist, which was our old therapist that we don't see anymore. Because we moved. And yeah, so our old therapist said, hey, you have multiple personalities. I saw it throughout our visits. Let's kind of work on fleshing out your different personalities. We can't talk to Crimzo, and Crimzo can't talk to us. We usually communicate with each other really well. Um, like, I can talk to the others, and the others can talk to me pretty fluidly, but none of us can talk to Crimzo because Crimzo, when they're not, like, front, basically goes into like a void of nothing, as if they're like sleeping or some shit. And so yeah, so we all kind of knew something was wrong, and the only way that we knew, um, the only way that like we knew we existed was because we all like already talked to each other. Crimzo was the one that needed to figure their shit out, and Crimzo was only knew we existed because of our therapist telling them we existed, if that makes sense. Um, and then the past like over a year, the rest of us were kind of ignored and neglected by Crimzo. Because Crimzo kept being told that it was just schizophrenia and bipolar, and that meds would fix the DID symptoms. So we were all ignored. Um, and so then all of us collectively thought we were schizophrenic and that we weren't real. So we just kind of masked as Crimzo for a while. Which like was a really big issue when it came to communicating properly between each other. So we can't communicate properly like we used to, right? And we can't communicate properly like we used to. But we are working on building that back up. None of us can still talk to Crimzo. But anyway, we were all just told it was schizophrenia and bipolar, and if we found the right meds, our DID symptoms would go away. And we all thought that collectively because we kept being told that. And it's just not true. We were put on meds for schizophrenia and bipolar, and they did help with the actual psychosis and mania and everything that we all experienced. But our DID symptoms didn't go away. So we talked to our therapist and our psychiatrist, and they were like, oh, yeah, you need to go see a specialist. We're going to medically recognize you as a system with DID. So what medically recognized means basically just means that your condition, like the assessment for whatever condition you have, takes too, or at least in my situation, this is what it means. The assessment for the condition takes too long, but it's something people urgently have to know in your medical files. So, in my like medical records right now, it says dissociative identity disorder likely, which means that it's recognized that I have this condition, but being diagnosed with DID takes up to a year. And we don't have time for any of that shit. So yeah, that's how we knew about each other. Who is Crimzo? Crimzo is our host. The main man. Um, yeah, that's who Crimzo is. So, yes and no. So technically, we all we're all Crimzo, right? We all like if you call us Crimzo, we'll all respond. But like currently I'm Balthazar. Most people just call me Czar. Um, but we call our host Crimzo. Like the other alters, like I'll just call Ghost Ghost. But when we're on live, we'll call Crimzo Crimzo. Which that isn't their actual alter name. Their alter name is their legal name, but we don't want to expose our legal name, so we just call them Crimzo, if that makes sense. But I'm not Crimzo, I'm Balthazar. Do you play VRC? No. I don't like VRs. They, like, for the majority of us, VRs make us really sick. Like, motion sick or something, and they kind of disorient us a lot, so we don't have a VR headset. We've tried it. We don't like it. You look sick. I look sick because of the makeup I'm wearing. I have white concealer on, and I put a. Uh. Hold on. Yeah, I put white concealer on, And then Ghost put fucking black eyeshadow everywhere and blue. Yeah, I'm pale because I'm wearing straight white concealer and nothing else. How long have you been conscious of Crimzo? We have all known about each other since like 2019, 2018, 2019, like before COVID. Um, but Crimzo didn't know about us until we started going to therapy in like 2021 or so. You know what a Therian is? Yes, I am one. We all are one. You have DID? I do. But yeah, all of us have known about each other, but Crimzo didn't know that we existed for a fucking while. And Crimzo still doesn't exactly know who we are. We can't communicate with Crimzo, and Crimzo can't communicate with us, so Crimzo doesn't know about us. Crimzo has never interacted with another one of us. We don't know why this happens. Crimzo is the only one this has ever happened to. But anytime Crimzo isn't in the front, Crimzo is basically just in a void of fucking nothing. Like, if I were to go, like, back into the head, or however you want to phrase it, like, if I were to go back there, we'd all be chilling in, like a living room type situation. But if Crimzo isn't in front, it's just a void. Like, a black void of fucking nothing. Until they come back. So, Crimzo has never interacted with any of us. Crimzo only knows about us because of like system apps that we use and shit to keep like all of our system stuff together. But that's it. How does Crimzo come back? I have no fucking clue. Like I said, I don't talk to Crimzo. You'd have to like catch Crimzo on a live and ask them yourself. None of us have any idea how Crimzo works. So. You're welcome. I'm a nerd and I love questions. How many in total? I think like 10. Maybe. Like 9 or 10. And that's including myself, by the way. Including me, 9 or 10. Hello, new people. Who are you? I am currently Balthazar. Up there. Your hamster died. Did it smell its own fart? Like, what happened? Not trying to be a dick, I'm just, like, genuinely trying to figure it out. Who the fuck is that? Hold on. That's diabolical, bro. Okay, but how did she pass away? Did she, like, have a heart attack? Smell her own fart? Like, I'm trying to figure out what happened, man. Anyway, ban the guy that made the Despicable Me comment. I don't really have one. I'm gonna be so honest. Not all of us do, really. Um, I hold a lot of the trauma that came from, like our parents. That's it. Um, yeah, I hold a lot of the trauma from that. Um, that's about it. I kind of just, I'm here. Um, I'm like a werewolf demon type shit. That's about it. Some of us do. Some of us are still trying to figure out like why we exist, which I know might sound like a depressing thing, like why am I even alive, whatever. But like genuinely, um, but I hold a lot of the trauma that came from our parents. Um, my noir kind of holds all of our like kind of like all of our intrusive thoughts and all of our like impulses. I mean, we all really have intrusive thoughts, but Noir is kind of the one to like actually want to do it. You know what I mean? Um Lenora kind of holds all of our trauma that came from school. Um Because when we were in school, we were severely bullied. We were stalked and harassed and assaulted like multiple times. And Lenora kind of holds all of that. Um, a lot of people compare Lenora to Fluttershy from My Little Pony. Um, I'm trying to think. I think my internet just cut out. Um, finished a fox mask. That's nice. Sparrow kind of holds a lot of our protective nature. All of our like relationship issues and our relationship traumas like in the past. Sparrow holds a lot of that. Sparrow is a lot more sophisticated than the rest of us are. A lot more put together. I'll admit. Um, Bubbles kinds of hold our trauma from our uncle. And if you don't know, we were tortured when we were younger, really bad, and Bubbles holds a lot of that. Bubbles is our youngest. She's 5. Um, so she holds a lot of that trauma in her. I don't know exactly why she's 5. The trauma that came from our uncle happened when we were 9. So I don't know why she's a lot younger than what we were, but um I'm trying to think. We have 3 more. Crimzo is the host. Obviously, Crimzo is just kind of here and doesn't remember practically anything, really. Um, which is a good thing. We don't really want Crimzo to know too much. Um, Yeah, there's three more that are still trying to figure out why they're here. Um, but yeah. We have three others that kind of appeared almost at the same time, and like we're trying to figure out why they're here and like what they do exactly. But yeah, that's what we all do. But yeah. If you have any further questions, let me know. I love answering questions. Athena, come here, fat cat. Excuse you. That's just a sign of affection and trust. Um, calm down. We've had her for like 10 years now. She She's probably like 11 years old in human years. No, she's got about another 10 years left because of her breed. She's still a pretty active cat. Well, the past no. Yeah, the past like month we haven't been live. We were live like a week ago. But it was only like a 20-minute live or so. But it really just depends on how my personal life is going. But like at least once a week. I am well, I'm in my house. I live with my aunt and uncle. I'm gonna hop off because it's almost dinner time and I'm starving. But I'll probably be back tonight. Yeah, I'll probably be back tonight, but I'm gonna go. Bye.